Hello, welcome to the channel. This is week 3 of my video logs. I've kind of missed a week because I didn't really get much done last week. I had a game I was filming battle report for, and then family holidays. So the sort of practical building painting part of the hobby is taking a side step for a bit of a week. But we're back on it today. Today I got this through the post, so I'm very excited to be reading that properly later. But I thought I would just do a quick sort of unboxing stroke time-lapse build of the Primaris Invader ATV. Back in a sec. Okay, so let's have a quick look inside the box. Very exciting this. It's one of the first of the new releases since Indomitus. I left it a week or so before I ordered this one, so I was kind of lucky in a way to get a hold of one because they seem to be quite popular for some reason. Don't know why that might be. Give the camera a bump. Ah, cool. Okay, so looks to be a relatively straightforward kit to build. I've been told it's push fit, which looking at the pieces on the sprues here, you can just see these little nubs and the holes for the male and female connectors, and same with the base here, the holes for the legs to be pushed into. So yeah, it does look like it is a push fit kit. We'll have a look and see just how useful or how annoying that's going to be when it comes to trying to get some variety into this, because I do plan on having at least 3, not from a game sort of strength competitive standpoint. I just like bikes and buggies. I probably should have played orcs really, but I've always been a Space Marine player, so with that in mind I will now shut up and get on with clipping this off the frame. We'll see how far we can get. I've got about half an hour, 40 minutes or so tonight, and if I'm not done tonight then I'll come back and do some more tomorrow. So I'm going to move the camera over because I'm sat at a very awkward position at the moment to get the camera in front of me while I'm doing this. I'll probably move it back and do a bit of a time lapse for you. So see you when it's done. Hello, back on the hobby logs. Got a few things to share with you this evening. A few little projects that are underway or ongoing. So let's have a look. Number 1 on this evening's projects is to get the world's biggest wet pallet functional. This is a Masterson's Stay Wet pallet. The lid's really tight, so holding the camera in one hand and opening the lid on this beast is easier said than done. As you can see, this should keep a nice selection of paints going for a very long time. It's, I believe, 16 inches by 12 inches. No feeling inadequate there. Second on the list, got the ATV mostly built the other night. So tonight's job is to magnetise all the various bits that need magnetising. Mainly it'll be the gun here, and obviously the alternative there, in case I want to sort of triple up on those when I get the full squadron. Then we've got some more gravel, and I've got my tiny gravel in here. And this is the not so tiny gravel. So I'll be mixing all of that together. And in the meantime, in between all of that, I'm going to be videoing a little army list breakdown and writing a blog article for the same. And if I do get round to it, maybe I might do a bit of painting. Ugh. Something else I forgot to mention. In here I have something very special that I'm really looking forward to finally getting done. I thought I'd share it with you. In here we have an original Baal Predator. So that rhino is a spare that I'm potentially going to be using to cannibalise for pieces. I've got the original twin assault cannon turret. The front glacis with the Blood Angels logo on it. Couple of side sponsons with heavy flamers. The original top plate. 1995. Nearly as old as me. Some old pieces of the Rhino chassis that just need stripping down and probably filling. Some more of the fittings for the turret. The original smoke launchers. And this, I'm very, very proud of that. I still managed to keep these all this time. The original rails for around the top of the Rhino. Right around, I think. So, hopefully over the next few weeks you'll see that coming together and getting sprayed up. Not sure at this point whether I'm going to paint it and then whack it on eBay, or whether I'll just prime it and put it on eBay for someone else to paint their way. I have got a few little potential sort of plans for an Angel's Sanguine force at some point in the future, but it's probably not got space in it for the original Baal Predator. I'm a bit of a magpie when it comes to models, and I like the new shiny, so but I picked that up in like a little clearance box that a friend of mine was getting rid of. So I just thought I'd share that little gem with you. Welcome back to the Hobby Log. It's Friday night, about 10:30. The wet palette is prepping, and in the meantime I decided I'd crack on with these guys. So this week I managed to get hold of some modelling masking tape. This I think is 2mm, and I've got a couple of rolls of 3mm as well. And so I decided I was going to try it out by going a bit old school on my Assault Intercessor chainswords. So these could be marked out with hazard chevrons down the blade. I'm not going to do it in yellow, it's going to be the pale blue and black. I don't want to go too off the wall with the colour scheme. I thought about doing it in orange and then realised I'd painted that one blue already. So I think I'm going to stick with Thunderhawk blue and black, and just make sure we highlight it up nice and get some real glint on the teeth of the chainsword there. Really make it stand out nice. It'll be a nice little sort of nod back, shall we say, to my origins in the hobby of chainswords with yellow and black hazard stripes on without going too over the top. Hello! On to Saturday night now. Wife's out, so I get to play. So tonight I'm going to get started on my ATV. hopefully got at least a couple more coming for my collection. But I've been itching to get this one going and get some paint on it for the last 2 or 3 days. The intention is that I'm going to try and replicate this sort of pattern on the side of the ATV. So this front wheel section here will be black to match that one there, and then I'm going to get some, or I'm going to attempt to get sort of an angled stripe going down the side there. I eyeballed these when I did my Outriders. They're okay, but they're not quite as neat as they would be if I'd used tape. So I bought myself some tape. So I'm going to mask these off, and then I'll come back to you with a short clip when that is done. See you in a moment. So we're all masked up, ready to get some of the blue on. Now I start with, if I can find it, Dark Reaper, and then we layer that up with Thunderhawk Blue and an edge highlight of Fenrisian Grey. So as you can see how this looks on the Outrider here, you end up with the Dark Reaper just in the cracks, the recesses in the armour. The Thunderhawk Blue makes the main blue, and then we just put a really fine edge highlight of Fenrisian Grey on. Fine as we can get it. It's thicker in some places than others, which is frustrating, but so be it. That's the best I can do. So I have a black stripe that sort of gets thicker towards the rear of the vehicle, so same thing's going to happen here. Narrower at the front end, fatter at the back. The suspension element here, yes people, it's not a low rider. It has suspension on it, the wheels go up and down, it doesn't have 0 ground clearance. That's going to be black, this will be black as well, and then this will be blue. So the stripe will solely sit on the chassis here, same as it does on the Outrider there. Now you can probably see some little grey circles and whatnot in here. One thing that I discovered when I was building the Outriders in particular from Indomitus is the accuracy of the pegs into the holes is way beyond anything that I've seen from Games Workshop before. And what I discovered here was that I undercoated, or primed, sorry, the sub-assemblies with the pegs on, and even just with the thickness of a primer on those pegs, all of a sudden they didn't fit in the holes properly, and I ended up with gaps. So on the Outriders I ended up cutting most of the pegs off. On here, for one is forearmed and all that, I stuck some blue tack around the pegs and in the holes before I primed it. So I'm not going to paint those grey bits, they will stay grey, and hopefully they will then fit nice and snugly without me having to cut pegs off or shave bits down. Now the reason for doing that is originally I was going to magnetise the gun on top here, but actually because the feet are sculpted onto the back platform of the buggy, there's no real scope for moving or turning the gun or positioning it unless you sort of get those feet off, somehow then replace the platform pattern, grid pattern. It sounded like a lot of work for my limited converting skills, quite frankly. So instead, because of the way the guns just plug in, I'm not going to bother magnetising it, because I'll just unplug it and plug the other one in if I want to swap them over. So what I might do therefore is get a bit of a time lapse going as I sort of start to paint this. I'll probably do that as a separate video because I've already got a time lapse of me building the buggy. So hopefully that'll be quite fun and interesting to watch. World's biggest wet pallet is ready to go. Catch you in a bit.